statistics from Liberty Insurance claims for 2022, they've revealed a spike in cancer and other lifestyle conditions. Over 6 billion rand was claimed by over 31,000 people. We're now joined by Tom Crotty, lead specialist for technical marketing at Liberty. Tom, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. This is rather concerning, no?
Good afternoon, Dudu. Thank you very much for having me. It is concerning, but it is also a good reflection that things have changed and we sort of passed the worst of the COVID-19 pandemic. In 2021, our claim numbers for personal risk cover claims were a lot higher, 10.1 billion. It's come down to around 6.98 billion in 2022, reflecting very much an easing of the pandemic on the lives of our customers.
Yeah, cancer leads top 5 medical claims. I mean, just break it down for us in terms of the ages, the makeup, demographics, etc.
Well, what we have seen is that COVID-19 and those types of disease, or anything related to COVID-19 has reduced since 2021. So we saw at the beginning of 2022, there were still some COVID-19 claims coming through. That reduced almost to zero towards the end of the year. In that place, we saw lifestyle diseases, other diseases such as cancer, cardiovascular, stroke, the big three, so to speak. They've always been there, despite the presence of the pandemic. So we've seen those come back to the top. But what we've also seen is the emergence of chronic illnesses possibly related to COVID-19, such as respiratory disorders, renal disorders linked to kidney, that sort of stuff. That's possibly lingering effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. Around sort of what ages for cancer, across the spectrum, we've seen claims come in across for cancer. Interestingly, what we have seen is that the cancer claims have come in at a much higher staging. So what does that mean? It means that earlier diagnosis hasn't been as good as it has been in the past. And when individuals are coming in to claim, they're claiming at a much later stage and with a higher severity, which then increases the size of your claim naturally.
Yeah. And speaking to that, you've also found that women remain the most insured. Why is that?
I think it's a combination of historical change. I mean, in the old days, not so long ago, there were just male-headed households and females weren't expected to work. That has definitely shifted in our society, and there's a bit of a catch-up that needs to happen. So as more and more females go and get cover that they so desperately need, we will see that change in sort of the proportion of claims coming through. Obviously, females do need as much cover as males. It's not a case of one gender claims more than the other. They both need cover for certain events in life.
You're also encouraging full disclosure, which builds trust between both parties. What would have prevented you from paying out people who came through with claims?
What often happens is that there are instances where a client comes in, they ask for cover, and then they go through the process of underwriting, which allows the insurance company to go and access as much information as they can about the client to do a proper risk assessment of them. Obviously, you can only get so much information from the client through some questions. So we do encourage the client and the advisor with the client to try to disclose as much information as possible up front, because the more information we have up front, the less likely that information will work against you when you need to claim.
Please finish your thoughts. I beg your pardon. Please finish your thought.
No, that's fine. What I was going to say is that an instance of this might be something that you had a knee injury, or you went to go and see a doctor about a knee and you didn't disclose it up front. That might lead to a query on your claim if you didn't disclose it up front.
Well, here's something that's new to me, mental health. I didn't know you could get cover for that. More so for suicide, they make up half of the claims attributed to mental health, while depression and anxiety are 16% of total mental health related claims. One, what do you need to show for that kind of cover? And it pays out when what happens?
Okay, so we do link suicide to mental illness. We do see that sort of as a commonality on that front, and that means then if you commit suicide, your life cover will pay out, provided it's gone through sort of a necessary waiting period. But there is another side of life insurance where we do offer income protection. So if you are unable to work, then we are in a position where we will pay you because you are unable to work. This is normally related to an injury or an illness. With specifics to mental illness, you can imagine someone who's so depressed, so anxious about going to work, they are unable to go to work, and then they're unable to go and earn the income. In that case, an income protection type policy would then pay the individual the equivalent of what they would earn whilst they go and seek rehabilitation and get better, so to speak.
What about retrenchment claims? What did you notice for 2022?
With the retrenchment claims, good sign. In 2021, we had around 7.2% of all our claims linked to retrenchment. That number has reduced to around 4% in 2022, showing that the economy recovering from some of the effects of the pandemic. However, we haven't seen the impact of possibly the long-term rolling blackouts coming through and the stress that the change in interest rates is having on businesses around the country. So we do expect some sort of change towards higher retrenchment claims going forward.
What are corporate claims?
Corporate claims relate to cover where a company wishes to provide cover for all the employees within the company. They go and have separate schemes for that. It is normally a set amount of cover for each individual, and that's where it's a good type of cover that an employee can get by being with that specific employer, and we provide specific funds or different rule sets for those types of employers.
Sure. Just maybe to end it off, what is Liberty thinking around reimbursing or rewarding customers who maintain a good lifestyle, right? So maybe on a yearly basis instead of a 5-year basis in terms of maybe a cashback bonus. We are living in tough times.
Yes, we're definitely living in tough times, and I think everyone around the country can identify a little bit of a strain on the wallet at the moment, or a huge strain on their wallet. So we are looking how can we ease the burden on customers. We do offer various cashbacks within our current product set where you're able to access a portion of your premiums back depending if you exhibit financial wellness or if you're able to exhibit any sort of physical and health wellness. But that normally starts at the current stage at 5 years and then pays out thereafter. It is something we would like to look at in future because definitely, to your point, customers are feeling the pinch at the moment.
Tom, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Tom Crotty is the lead specialist of technical marketing at Liberty.